Right, part of the moulding process, get one finished, gently firmly stitched helm piece, chuck it in water. What you're looking to do is to give this a damn good soaking. Then when that's really nice and wet, you turn it inside out, much as I've done with this one, trying to ensure where possible all your stitching and the line where the leather meets the leather is fairly even. You turn it back inside out once more. This all looks rather rough and ready, but that's the way that I do things. Then another little soak, leave that in there. Grab one head, moved camera back, slap this over here, pull down as hard as you can, all the sides. I can only do this for short periods of time because of the problems I got with my spine, so if I suddenly collapse or something, don't be too surprised. This video may come with a warning of myclonic jerks, collapsing and other weird medical things that bug the hell out of me. Right, now as you may see, you've heard something hit the floor. It's all rather wobbly, not looking great. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to be pouring some boiling water inside here, and that will shrink the leather down to make it fit the head. I'll describe at some point, either earlier or later in this video, how to actually create one of these heads and how to measure up the leather for a head. Right, next important thing, boil kettle. I've left water in the bottom of here because there is a certain importance to that. But when I pour boiling water inside here to shrink the leather, any of the boiling water coming through can discolour the top rather badly, so I'll leave a small amount of water in there. Grab one boiling kettle, and then I start looking at shrinking the head. Not mine, obviously, but the head of this whatever I call it. Now I'm watching carefully how the colour is changing as I'm pouring the boiling water into the leather. It's going from a very light brown to a slightly darker brown. I don't know if you can see it, and I'm being clumsy. I've got stuffing rather a lot of medication these days, so you'll have to bear with me. So basically what I'm doing is I'm pouring a lot of boiling water into here to shrink it from the inside where I can. I will be representing it to the head, if you'll bear with me. Right, trying to keep the back and front looking right, and then start gently massaging down where I've applied the boiling leather. Checking the alignment of the front where I can to back. Now you'll have already noticed perhaps some of the wrinkling has already reduced. I still have an area here I've got to reduce, and I should have put the kettle on ready to start doing that now, because I like to get it all done while the leather's still hot. While the kettle's boiling, I'll just take you overhead. You'll see here, there's little bits of discoloration. That's where the boiling water has come through and discoloured the facing leather. I'm not too concerned about this because it's very minor, and this is going to be covered with a plume and a leather band near the front. In respect of the front, when I was in the preparation stage, I very gently sanded about ½ inch in of the leather either side, so I'll be able to bond on a small strip of leather first before... oh, hang on, the video's in the wrong place. Right, before I stick on the crest. Okay, so I'm now going to attack this area next, and just up the top. Now we're back to the inside. I've got to get my area of shrinkage round the top more pronounced around here, and obviously up the centerpiece, so I can reduce all of these lumps and bumps that you've seen in the previous shot. Again, small amount of water in the bottom to try and stop and minimise the discoloration. Also discovering I should have put the camera on the other side of the sink, because I'm rubbish at showing well, it's basically because I'm right-handed and not left-handed, but you're generally getting the idea, I hope. And if you're not, I'm going to do another video anyway that will probably make more sense. Alas. Oops. Sorry, jerking's kicking in. Right. Okay. Bring on to top again, check that the camera can see what I'm doing. Yeah, possibly. Maybe, who cares? Right, bear me. Arse. Now, onto the top, down. Now you'll see again, what I'm doing is that I'm pushing the leather down and away from the top, and so I'm just slightly realigning the centre there. Now you'll note all the wrinkles, and if you do any shrinking on the outside when the leather is dry, there's a very, very high chance of that, if there's any bend in the leather at all, that this will crack. The facing will crack. If you do it from behind, you alleviate that problem. Now, I've got to reduce this bit down now. That can prove slightly problematic, but I'm looking to bring this out like this, which means this huge area here on either side has to be reduced to fit, obviously. So more boiling water. Right, now I've put water in the bottom here, more water than I did before, because this part of the moulding is going to put all the hot water through the helm, and I don't want to discolour the top of the helm, but it is here and behind that I'll be looking to shrink. pouring the hot water over the back here also, because that will stiffen up the leather. When it's fully dry, I'll be sanding that down, and that's mainly because it's jolly rough, and we don't like jolly rough. We want things to be rather perfect, right? You have to excuse the loss of breath, because I'm not exactly healthy anymore, and I'm doing these videos in the hope that some people will get an idea of how to create their own helms, etc., when I'm just not able to anymore. Now, I'll bring this out, bring the camera back, and as you see, I've got a little bit of rundown there. That's a little bit unfortunate, but as we're going in dark brown, this isn't too bad. If you have to lean against the head mould to do this bit, like what I does, it's really advisable not to wear something with zips or buttons, because you press any creases into the leather, and because you're parboiling, some of those creases may just stay, and you really don't want that because it's a bit annoying. Now, I don't think you can see this bit, but I'm just going to stick. Oh yeah, that's a pod used for the washing machine. Stick that under there, holds up this flap so I can keep messing about on these side bits for a bit. And what I'm looking to do is to shrink the leather again down on either side. I'll be doing another bit of parboiling to again reduce that down, and the tension created of this curve will hold this up, as well as the leather being stiff anyway. But I'm just going to repeat this process again, so just bear with me. Now, what I'm just doing here is showing you the inside. You can see exactly where the boiling water's gone, and I've got this little lump here that I need to shrink out as well. So I'm going to take in these sides a little bit more, shrink that lump out, try and do a little bit of shrinking here, and then this will be set for placing to dry out. Now, where I put in the cheek guards, I haven't banged in the holes there yet, because when I'm doing the parboiling, the holes will shrink, and it makes everything more difficult, and they just simply don't look right. So I always put in the holes that I do for the cheek guards after I've done all the parboiling. Here we go. Now I've got a nice little bit of water going on there to try and protect the outer surface of the leather. As you see, you'll see as the leather's browning, this is where it will be shrinking up. This area is always problematic to do, and it's, in my mind, is probably the most difficult part. Sorry, I know I'm I'll have to stop shortly. This is my head's going a bit. Wonders of spine damage, unfortunately. Right, so hopefully you've got this done enough. I'm going to move it back onto the mould. Oh, my fantastic camera work. Well done. Oh God. Oh heck. Right. So, getting down there to that bit that we were showing you just a few minutes ago. Bring that round and that lump's come out. Now I'm putting in the sides again. This lump reappears. Perfectly normal. I'm now trying to squeeze the leather in together to make the oh God, I can't think of the word, fibres, if you like, bind in tight to one another. But now I've got to smooth out all them bits where I've made creases with my t-shirt.